to What's Up Wednesday, where we talk about everything mental health. Thank you so much for another week. It is a beautiful, beautiful day in Georgia. So, Georgia on my mind. So, we talk about everything mental health. We talk about relationships, love, uplifting, parenting, aging, also motivational progress. Inspiring Black women while honoring women who have left the mark on our lives. We carry the torch. I am my sister's keeper. So each week we select American treasures, African American women that have paved the way through some kind of way as in history. So this week it is Susan Taylor and Kathy Hughes. Yes, I love them both. They are both very inspiring and motivating. So Kathy Hughes is an African American mobile. She is a mobile giant, media executive and entrepreneur, known for founding Radio One, One Woman, One Vision, One Company. That is her motto. I love that, honey. She was born April 22nd, 1947 in Omaha, Nebraska. Ms. Hughes began her career in radio as a sales manager and later became a program director. She left her home. She was a single mom, and she launched in 1980. She launched Radio One, which became the largest African-American owned broadcasting company in the United States. Yes. She also is known for her work in television, including the launches of, like I said, TV One. Ms. Hughes received numerous awards for her contribution to media and entrepreneurship, including inducted in the National Record Radio Hall of Fame. Yes, we love Ms. Hughes. Kathy Hughes, with her title, she had many awards, granted the honorary doctorates from Sojourner Douglas College in Baltimore in 1995. That accomplishment drove Hughes back to school 2 years later. And then she also, in 1997, she was the first woman awarded the Lifetime Achievement Award at the 20th annual ceremony. Ms. Hughes is also a member of the Maryland Chamber of Commerce, a Business Hall of Fame. Yes. In 2000, she was awarded the first annual Black History Fame Award. Following that, she presented the National Action Network Keepers of Dreams Award, which is an award that spotlights role models who contribute to and honor Martin Luther King's legacy. Yes. So I like to always bring some history because they are constantly trying to erase us, and that will not happen on my watch. Okay. Also, Ms. Hughes has a school, Howard University. Yep, I love that school. I haven't got a chance to visit, but also it was a school dedicated to the Kathy Hughes School of Communication. It has 4 departments offering undergrads and graduate degrees. The department includes communication, culture, media studies, PhDs only in 3 tracks: health communication, media, culture studies, and technology, policies, and society. I just want to make sure if anybody's looking, or any one of your children or grandchildren are looking to go into college and wanted to go into broadcasting, this is the place to go. Communication studies, media, journalism, film, communication science and disorders. The undergrad programs offer the Bachelor's of Arts degrees in 10 specialized departments. The Department of Communication Science disorders offering the Bachelor's of Science degree in speech pathology. Wow. Audiology. All undergrads department offer 18 minor sequence. That is amazing. They got a lot going on at Howard University. Yes. So our next feature, American Treasure, is My girl, Susan Taylor. All of my girls. Because I just love it. I love when I go in here and I research the history. It just gives me more and more confidence as an African American woman of how we persevere through a lot of circumstances and different things. These two ladies have a lot in common because they started as single mothers. So I definitely give kudos to these women. So Susan L. Taylor is an influential African American journalist, editor, and best known for her leadership at Essence magazine and her advocacy for African American communities. So let me tell you a little bit about my personal with Susan Taylor. But I haven't met her personally. But what I did was when I stopped smoking, I started purchasing Essence magazine. Inside Essence magazine was the inspirational little part, that page, and it was so uplifting. It seemed like it always called me at the right time to just lift my spirits. I probably was in like maybe 25 or so first time I started smoking. I stopped twice, but I'm 23 years non-smoking cigarettes. So kudos to me. Yeah, so anyway, I stopped and I said, you know what, those cigarettes, I'm going to buy a magazine. Then I decided to get a binder, and every month I just took all the inspiration of the page. There's a whole page with her hair just flowing so beautifully. She must have the most beautiful smile. And I said, you know what, I'm going to put all these in here. So when I feel like I just want to go through them, I just have all of them in here to just continue to inspire me. And that's what we have to do as African Americans, but because so many things are coming, African American women, so many things are coming towards us, like the layoff, you know what I mean, discrimination, domestic violence, do you name it, they're coming after us. But because we have that Eve gene, I talked about that last week, look it up, the Eve gene when it comes to harvesting as well, okay? So also, she was born in Harlem, New York. Her mother is from Trinidad. Her father is from St. Kitts. She grew up in East Harlem, where her father owned a clothing store. She was raised Catholic, went to Catholic school. As a teenager, she moved with her family to New York, Queens. Everybody from Queens. She started her career at Essence in 1970. Oh my God. I could not believe she just actually celebrated her birthday, 80 years old. I'm like, oh my God, I remember this lady, black don't crack. She looks so good. Yes. So in 1970, she started Essence magazine. It was founded. Her first position at the magazine was a freelance fashion and beauty editor. At the time, she was divorced and single. They hired her without a degree, okay? Because confidence go a long way, okay? You can get a degree later. But let's go with that confidence first. Always remember, confidence rules. As black women, we walk in the door, baby, we demand just by our presence attention, okay? And Quasi kept, men love a confident woman, okay? So make sure you always wear your confidence, okay? So also, closing, so we continue to thank Kathy Hughes, Susan Taylor for their determination and hard work and the perseverance, because if you've been a single mom, married mom, whatever mom, you know that it takes a lot of work to juggle all these different things. And some people like, you can't have it all. But I feel like if you take some little pieces and bits and delegate, you can have pretty much as you need to have. Okay, so make sure to write, if they were going under unforeseen obstacles as single moms. Never feel it's too late. As long as you're living, your dreams can come true. So it doesn't matter. I'm 62. She is 80 and she is still doing things in the community. Susan Taylor and Kathy Hughes, it's in us to continue to build our community. Continue to make sure it's something in your spirit to say, you know what? I want to do this or I want to do that. And I always say, be very intentional when you're talking to young people. Be very intentional in guiding them and giving them good information. Little black girls, we need to also make sure that we compliment them and we let them know that they are loved, okay? Because I truly believe that it wouldn't be so many things going on in the world of relationships and domestic violence if girls was When I say thirsty, I mean thirsty because they didn't have the love from a cousin, from a brother, or from somebody who told them that they were good, who told them that they were pretty just as they were, that they didn't have to go looking for that affection. And that's where that confidence come in at. When you are loved from home, you don't go out looking. You like, okay, you in a relationship, then it enhances you. But it's not your everything. You don't just drop everything. You know what I'm saying? Because you're confident and you know. And it's like, ain't nobody, you ain't got to tell me I'm cute. I know I'm cute. You know, not being arrogant, but it's like, I'm good. I'm confident. So, moving right along. So, you know, we always have a topic. So, this topic is about aging. Aging gracefully, ladies. Because, well, I know about here. Yes, I do. But aging gracefully. And when aging gracefully is not just sitting back. Yes, and Kathy Hood Hughes. Yes, those were my topics. Thank you. But aging gracefully, and I see a lot of people, you know, they're getting plastic surgery, doing a lot of things, don't want to do things, don't want to go out, don't want to do it, you know, things, but don't let your mind just be idle and sitting there. Go out and do things. This can be a very positive, uplifting, deeply relatable topic. Aging gracefully is not just about looking younger. It's about embracing wisdom, because when we get older, we should have wisdom. We should not be doing the same thing that we were doing when we were in our 20s or 30s. We should be helping the young person come along and then be sitting and settling. You know how you, like a house settles, you know, but good, and it still kept up and it still look good. Make sure that you age gracefully. And that's having your peace. And you know, I talk about peace all the time, so I'm not going to talk about peace. But the beauty of becoming seasoned. There's certain things, once you get a certain age, it's just not for you anymore. Environments are not for you. People are not, you know, for you. So you have to pick and choose the environment. Because if you want positivity growing gracefully, because that has a lot to do with peace. I mean, your health is making sure that you're not stressed. You know what I mean? There's certain things we can control, and there's certain things we cannot control. So the power of growing old as a black woman, African Americans across the continent. I'm talking to all my sisters. I'm not just talking to them African Americans who live in America. I'm talking to everybody, continent, because we all go through one thing, and that's and we're going to get old. Like I said, that's the goal of life, is getting old, right? Everybody, you know, trying to die tomorrow, whatever. But the goal is to get old. And sometimes things can be one-sided. You know what I mean? And so make sure that when you grow old, because there's a lot of people. I have so many friends in this last week who passed in funerals. You know, I'll talk about that because at the end I gave a tribute to my really good friend. But also aging with dignity. Age with dignity. And what does that mean? Becoming valuable. You know what I mean? What do you value? What's your morals? What's your ethic? What will you take and what would you don't take? So, because sometimes you just got to clean house, like I was telling somebody. Sometimes, you know, relationships are not that good. You're hanging on to have a man. You're hanging on to have a woman or whatever. And sometimes God, you blocking your blessings. So, like I said, when you talk about aging gracefully, that has a lot to do with God giving you the things that you need, and He's telling you a lot of certain things. So pray hard and live hard. That's what I do. I say I pray hard, I live hard. But also embrace the privileges that you have, because there's so many people who pass, there's so many people who are in beds or sick or sitting back and say, you know what? I wish I would have did this. I wish I would have did that. I wish I didn't worry so much. I wish I didn't worry about my kids so much. I wish I didn't worry about the bill too much. So you know what? Control what you can control, but make sure in this life, this is your only life that you have. After this, it's no more. You know what I mean? So make sure. Make sure you do what you got. Wear that crown, queens. Wear the crown well, and make sure that your environment, your circle, you have to make sure that your circle are positive. If you have people coming in and all they do is talk about negative things, because I was listening to something the other day, and they were saying that, you know, the endorphins in our brain, they trigger negative and they trigger positive. And like, you know how sometimes you got a nice positive thing to say about something, people don't want to hear that. But when you call it, talk about, oh, my man broke up, girl, guess what he did, or whatever, people like, well, girl, what'd he do? No. we have to train our brain that we want to hear things do come. But the thing about it is, what we're going to do about it. But you see how your brain could just be targeted to negative things all the time. And when somebody talk about positive things, you don't know how to praise them. You don't know how to congratulate them. You don't know how to do nothing because you're so used to negative things. So make sure that you're not, okay? Be very conscious about that. Because when you want somebody to be your number one cheerleader somewhere, then you need to be their number one cheerleader. Society always tell women about fearing aging. And I think that's the biggest thing, that you got to get society and the norms and what you're supposed to look like and what weight you're supposed to have and what you're supposed to wear and how you're supposed to be and what it's. No, this your life. You build your own plan. Do your own dream. What do you think that's good? If you think that you could do this and do that, go do it. It's never too late to get on the plane. Like I say, take trips. Take short trips, long trips. Go visit somebody. Do something different. Don't just be waiting. I just understand. Don't just be waiting to die or just sitting up there or coming home every day doing the same thing, living the same thing. I mean, ain't that a little boring? Don't you get a little bored looking at the same soap opera, looking at the same show every day, day in? That's not aging gracefully. That's just being bored. Go out and do something. Join a group. Join Pilates. Pilates got it going on. You know, go out and walk. A walking group. They have the traveling divas. Go somewhere. I was talking to somebody like they never thought about like traveling outside the United States. And I'm like, you know what? Go try it. Get your passport. Go see. Think about, certain things. So make sure you do that, okay? So as Black women, we carry stories, strength, resilience. We have a lot of stories to tell. We have a lot of wisdom in us. That's why I say be very intentional, because it's certain things that you would say like, oh, you know what? If I were younger, I wish somebody would have told me. And I know I talk a lot. And I know sometimes people may say like, oh, she talks so much. But guess what? And then you wonder later like, why I didn't know this or why I didn't know that. And it's like, you know what? But that lady with the wisdom, the understanding, and the knowledge was trying to keep you. You don't have to make every mistake every year. You know what I mean? Every day. You do some things you can learn from other people. That's what I'm saying. Okay? So make sure you don't have to. But we as seasoned women that's aging gracefully, we definitely have to be there for our community, because our community is crumbling with people like, oh, I don't want to be involved. Oh, I don't want to get into it. And I just have to say this. The lady at the MARTA in Atlanta who was stabbed at age 66 and nobody helped, and they just sat back and they watched her get stabbed. That's community breakdown. Nobody watched. Everybody want to get out of a cell phone, but we talk about aging. But I just want to let you know that's the first part of a crumbling community, when everybody is watching. Where did that come from? Because we don't do that. We stand together as a Black community, and we help and we support. Okay? So, the younger years, many Black women focus on raising their kids, building careers, and supporting. So now I am close to retirement. So now what we going to do? So now you're an empty nester. What's the plan? What you going to do? Go out for coffee, go out for tea, go out for a little drinky drink, or ice water. I don't know what you're going to do, but you need to get out in these streets. I already said that. We are outside this summer, 2026. We are outside. Do you hear me? Do not be stuck up in the house. Go out to the park. There's a lot of festivals coming up. There's a lot of things in Duluth, Lawrenceville, Snellville. I don't know. That's the area I live in. Go see what people are doing. Just do something different. You never know. Stop doing the same thing and expecting a different result or coming home bored as hell. I'm just saying. So, also, let's talk about it. Let's get about it. And a lot of things, when we get older, we should know better. You know what I mean? We should know. Taking care of your mind, body, and soul, spirit. We have to exercise. You got to move those bodies, move that body up and down. We don't want to, but we got to move it, because if you don't move it, you lose it. Okay, that's when people get contracted. That's when strokes come along. Have poor circulation. We have to move your body. Go out and walk. If you don't want to go out and walk, you can walk around your house. Walk around the dining room. Walk around the living room. Walk around, get to moving. Get the little mini little bike that you can sit right here around, like in a chair, and your feet be moving like a little motorbike. It's a little mini cycle. Get that, but get to moving and move your arms. Move your arms. Get you some little weights from Five Below. They got some cute little weights. And now they talking about that women over 40, I'm over 60, should have like the weight vests. So when I saw them at first, I didn't know what they were, right? So then later, I have these young daughters, and they was like, oh yeah, you need to wear these or whatever, but I see a lot of people wearing them, so go get your little thing and get your weights. Get ready. Get inspired. Inspire yourself. Look at stuff that inspire you, motivate you, okay? You got to make sure that you look at those things, okay? So make sure that you do that. Music. I'm on TikTok. I have some DJs on TikTok, baby. I'll be up all night listening to the oldies, just enjoying my life. You got to live and enjoy yourself first. Enjoy your life, okay? If you like old music, turn it on. Honey, be around the house dancing and living life. Because when you're dead, when you're gone, you're 6 feet under, ain't nothing you can do but think about what you thought you used to do or what you should have done, okay? So make sure that you do that. Be very intentional about living your best life, okay? The legacy that we leave. People are always looking. You know, you look behind. Your kids are looking at you. Your great nieces are looking at you to see how you maneuver as an African-American woman. Okay? Yeah, we strong, we do. We break down, yes, we do. But, baby, we get up. That's one thing about black women, baby. We're going to figure it out. And we're going to figure it out. So make sure that you take care of you. Okay? And taking care of you is sometimes dancing. You know, join a class if you want to go out and learn how to dance. Do some salsa. Do something. Don't just live. Leave a legacy. Like I said, I was talking to somebody about going out the country. And they was a little bit scared about going out the country. And I said, from my experience, traveling out the country, every country has a different color passport. And the United States passport is blue. People know those colors. They know you're American. When you go out of the United States, you are treated like gold. You are treated like you won the lottery, okay? You be looking like, oh my God, what? If it's ever a coup, now I ain't talking about this president. The other presidents, like when COVID came and Americans were stuck on the ship and they were stuck in other countries, if you can recall, they never said black Americans. They never say that. They always say Americans. See that? See how you treat it? Like American. So, and if you ever, this is FYI, if you ever go to a country and you lost your passport, every country has a U.S. Embassy that you can go and get flown home. So always know that. But I'm saying you still got to watch yourself. I'm just saying, but to be able to go somewhere to another country is amazing. I'm really, really thinking about my next trip. It's Ghana. I think maybe November, I think I'll go because I always wanted to see the part of history. I think it's the gate of no return, the door of no return. So I just want to feel that because when I did go to Nigeria and we landed, I felt, oh baby, did I feel? That's a feeling you cannot describe. You just gotta take it in and you just be so emotional. But I'm not gonna talk about that. That's for another show. But like I said, definitely be intentional about changing your lifestyle, growing old gracefully. Okay? Because there's so many people that wish they had a second chance at doing things and they didn't. So let's make sure that we don't get to that point and we wish that we could do things or, you know, something happened, we can't move like we want to or whatever, like I should have been moving. So make sure that you're able to move around these streets, okay? Because we are outside. And once I said from last time, we are different colors. You see I have on yellow. We're wearing bright colors because bright colors, it just make your mental feel good. Remember I talked about mental? You know, last month was Mental Health Month, but we're going to keep pushing on through it because every day we need to make sure if you can surround yourself with 99.9% of positive mental health, baby, you going to be doing real good. Like, bring yourself flowers. Love to smell flowers. Stop and look at the trees like, oh my God, this all the rain brought so many pretty green grass and trees and flowers coming out. Just stop and smell it. Those are things we take for granted because hustle and bustle, hustle and bustle. But just stop and smell the flower and just kind of breathe, okay? We got to learn how to breathe, okay? And like I said, we can always talk about leaving money, but the best thing you can leave is like, I want my kids to know that I was happy and I tried to make them happy. And no matter what, you got to find the good in things. You know what I mean? Because only in America does this happen. There's other countries, people having a good time and everything, okay? So it's only in America. But we can do it in America and make sure that we all good here too. Let's say, what have aging taught me? Aging has taught me to live without my parents. We have to talk about that. Because a lot of us grieve our parents and things are not different, but now we are our parents, now we are our aunts, that, to make sure that the other people, younger folks are looking at us, but that's probably the hardest thing. And grandparents, like when I went home, I was just telling my cousin that I just wish I could give everything and have my parents and, your cousins here and, going to family reunions and eating up everybody's food, going to this person's house, that person's house, or whatever. And I think that's the one thing that, life is short and it just ends so quick. So make sure you love on your family and get to those family reunions when you can. Start your own family reunion too, but reach out to your family and talk to them. And there's certain things that, growing older, you just don't tolerate no more. You choose chaos, peace over chaos. So that's one thing, peace over chaos. That's it. People might say, oh, you know what, why you look so young? I'm not going to let nobody or no one, nothing that I could control just steal my peace, because I know a lot of people have left this earth, and I'm going to leave this earth feeling good. I'm not going to have all my control. Certain things we can't control, but certain things we definitely can control. So like I said, 99.9, get you happy. Like I had a segment a couple of weeks ago, getting to happy. First, to get to happy, you got to get to peace. You got to clear all that stuff out. Even sometimes you got to do some spring cleaning. Get some old stuff out the closet and move some furniture, throw some stuff back you ain't using, too old, just throw it out so God can give you something. Okay, so if you sit back and you think about, just people who have been in your life and you sit back and you say, you know what, that person really lived a good life. You know what I mean? Aging gracefully is not about embracing the woman we become, but just embracing who we want to be in the future too, and who we've been. And gracing yourself is giving yourself grace to say that, you know what, I did a good job. But with the tools I had as African American women and family, we did a good job. We got to give yourself a pat on the back when you get to be 70, 72. Susan Taylor is 80 years old. You know what I mean? Some lady I just saw like 104. I was like, oh my goodness. And the lady who just actually, she just passed, who invented the GPS, yeah, she just passed. So we have done a lot of different things that we have to be grateful for in African American people who have came before us, to make sure that, you know what, we don't just take that in vain and they don't let us, they don't erase our history. So that's why I like to go through and find and get the inspiration from doing the research for these women and just letting them know that we care, and they still pushing too. And that lets them know, like, if you in your 60s, baby, you still got a lot to go. There's people still out there doing things. So make sure don't lose your values, gain wisdom, and great years ahead of you, So make sure that you do what you do, and always, always try to live a simple, good life. You know what I mean? So remember I told you that I had a lot of friends that passed this weekend. I had 2 classmates, both named Brian. Well, one graduated my high school, one was in my neighborhood back in East St. Louis, Illinois, and they passed of cancer. One of my friends had been probably dealing with cancer for 6 years. She passed away on Saturday. Those things, when I hear about those things, that makes me live my life a lot more, because my friend Vivian Overstreet. I met her because I told you I talk. I'm a talker. I met her at Belk's in Snellville, Georgia. When I was just going in there shopping, I was at the jewelry counter, and we just started talking. When I say that lady has the most fetchest smile, and her whole face is lit up, and she didn't meet a stranger. Like, she was always, you ever meet somebody that was always glad to see you, always glad to see people? That is the wonderful, that's the kind of energy I used to pull from her, because I'm like, and then at first I thought it was fake that she just wanted me to buy something from her. I'm like, oh no. But then I started going back, I bought some things, and I started going back all the time, and we just became friends. Probably over the last, I graduated, probably the last 10 years, we became really good friends. I would go to Belk's, we would just talk, and then we would go out. She hooked me up with this auction. When I tell you, baby, they sold everything. I thought auction just sell cars and, little stuff. No, they was in there selling food. They was in there auctioning off all kind of stuff, chicken wings. Oh my God, that was going towards Monroe, Georgia. But I say country. I love me some country, but I'm just saying, it was just so funny. The people that you meet along the way, the inspiration that you take from them, that, we can learn from everyone. And when I say Vivian was a ball of fire, she was about 5 years older than me, so about 67 or something like that. But then she also just started telling me about the different trips. She would go all over the world, fly into different countries and, just tell me. But it was she told a story, I think, just like my mom. My mom could tell a story. You didn't even have to look at the movie. And you just be like, okay, I don't have to look at it. Like, I remember my mom telling me the movie, An Imitation of Life. If you guys ever saw that movie before, it's a really good movie about an interracial girl who hated her mom, hated being black or anything referred to black, but it was a really good movie because at the end, baby, she was looking for her mom. But Vivian would tell a story. She has such a big heart that just makes you so warm inside that, it just made me I was like, what? I need to travel more, adventure off more. She was already, a grandmother, so she was just doing her thing, and I was like, she would, every time she was like, I'm not going to be here. I'm going to be gone 2 weeks because I'm going here and I'm going there. I'm like, oh, this lady just doing her thing. When I grow up, I want to be like Miss Vivian. And I remember her granddaughter being in the military, and then she's like, oh, my daughter's stationed here. She's on this ship, so she must have been in the Navy. And she was like, I'm going to see my granddaughter. I just remember having a good, wholesome conversation with her. She just traveled to so many different places. Then she got cancer, and she moved to Florida to be closer to her family that lived in Florida. But she passed on Saturday, but I'm going to say that she gave me the confidence, and the thing about it, she didn't fear anything. And a lot of times you can take things from other people and be like, what, why am I fearful? Why am I thinking about this? Because this person, African-American one, she was like, she jumped. Things probably in her life made her like, hey, let's go. So I'm just saying, be an inspiration, inspire, motivate, and make sure that you do things. Like, get your list and say, where would I want to go? And how much would it cost? Can I take my income tax next year? Can I do something different this year? How can I get to where I need to go? Start off with little trips. Going to Orlando. I don't know where you live. Go to the Ozarks. I don't know. That's in St. Louis over in Missouri. Go out to concerts. Because I'm going to tell you, my New Year's resolution is good people, good food, good conversation. Also, travel, money. I need money to travel. I need money to travel. But those are the things that we as African American women, we need to be able to lay our head down. We need to be able, because I see them, bro. I'm on TikTok, baby, and I see y'all out there, black women. Y'all out there doing y'all thing, going on your trips by yourself, single and free, or whatever. But we do like a sin of a man. I'm just saying, but if he ain't there, baby, we got to roll, okay? So I love to see that because it gives me the inspiration to keep pushing and keep going. We have to feed off of each other, the energy, okay? If you ain't got to feed off of somebody, if you ain't got, we always going to pray for the man upstairs. We always going to keep that right. But just make sure that you do what you need to do. to take care of you. You know what I mean? Your kids are gone about their business. They're going to be about their business. Start worrying about them kids. Put it on God, covering them with the blood of Jesus, baby, and say, I got to go. Okay? Find you a traveling group. Find you a book club group. And you know what? I got our book. And our book is, what is the name of our book? What's the name of the book? The book is called Black History. It's the AF, The Unwashed Racism by Harriet. Right? I hope I'm saying that's right. But if not, I'll put it in the thing. But read a book. This book is about the beginning, way before slavery. Way before slavery, when people wasn't knowing nothing and we taught them everything. Okay? So get the book. That's our summary. Our next summary, I think I can't remember what it was going to be, but it's going to be good. But our next summary is going to be about another book. It's PTSD. It's called Post-Traumatic Slave Syndrome. That's our next for like July book. So read that chapter, get that book. Thank you so much for, hold on guys. Thank you so much. Does anybody have any questions? I hope you guys really found this topic of aging well. Like I said, make sure that you exercise, drink plenty of water, love yourself, look in the mirror and say you love yourself. No, love yourself, love you. Okay? So make sure you do. Thank you. And I'll see you next week, okay?